Good morning, everybody. Today's book we're going to talk about is The Testament. Author Margaret Atwood, copyright 2019, publisher Nan A. Talese and Doubleday, total pages 419. Margaret Atwood's The Testament is the sequel to her dystopian series The Handmaid's Tale. Mrs. Atwood's work has been published in 45 countries and is the author of more than 50 books, which include poetry, essays, children's, graphic novels, and nonfiction works. Mrs. Atwood is also the recipient of many awards, known for her famous TV show, The Handmaid's Tale. Testaments begins 15 years after the events of the first novel. Now, Mrs. Atwood is a masterful wordsmith that goes further into the totalitarian regime of Gilead by offering the reader glaring plot twists and compelling female viewpoints as each character experiences their own strength of spirit to find ways to live within or escape Gilead's oppressive regime. Aunt Lydia, a chilling, complex character, is one of Gilead's architects, and her narrative is written in a secret memoir, which is the whole book here is on her viewpoints on how everything worked out. Now, she peels back the layers of her complex motivations and survival modalities, exposing many compromises and cunning tactics that she had to use in order to stay on top of Gilead's brutal hierarchy. Agnes is a privileged child, and she's one of the children of one of the commanders. Now, Agnes is portrayed as both victim and villain. However, as we read further, we see through Agnes's eyes what being privileged has its drawbacks, both mentally and physically, which causes Agnes to investigate the possibility of joining the rebellion herself against this society. However, it may turn out for Agnes in the end may not be as good as we thought she would get along, or penetrate even further into the Gilead's hierarchy and destroy it. But read the book and you'll find out. Daisy, a young, strong-willed woman living in Canada, provides the younger generation perspective of the need to fight for freedom and stand up for ourselves and be independent, no matter what the cost. But even so, the people around her that care for Daisy don't like the fact that she wants to go out in public and protest or whatever. They don't want her to be seen in public, and they are strict about that, and they don't want her anywhere near Gilead or associated with them at all. Now, Daisy's life takes a dramatic turn when she learns her true origins, and that is what is the cause of her joining the resistance. Now, how can Gilead stay in power so long and keep up the facade of moral ambiguity alive? It's at the heart of Mrs. Atwood's testaments. You have to really read it slow. I read it slow because I wanted to sink in all the different nuances that Miss Atwood writes and wants us to figure out for ourselves, basically. But it's really a fascinating story here. The theme of good versus evil depends on who is the ultimate judge of what is considered good moral compass. Now, why does Gilead need to keep women in such a submissive baby-making role? To teach a set of rules without questioning them? Or are men so afraid of losing what they perceive as control, and not see women as individuals capable of surviving and thriving without them? Think about that for a second. Now, so what happens when people live in constant fear, contained for long periods of time, and told what to or what not to do, or suffer the consequences? That you cannot think for yourselves or make decisions without their approval. Well, rebellion is what occurs, So I'm such a fan of Mrs. Atwood. Her depiction of Gilead's, really demanding control over women's bodies and their identities, and rings true in our own political and social issues today. And we are the book and what we're going through now seems to parallel each other. It's unmistakable today, and so it's kind of creepy to me that this could actually happen, as we're all seeing in the public eye, like I said, in current social media and political views and stuff like that. The Testament is a book that everyone should read. It's really it was pertinent back in 2019, and it's pertinent in 2025. So I also, before I end this review, I also wanted to give a special mention to Susanne Dean and Noma Bar for their hardcover exterior of the jacket and the Dutch Uncle cover design, plus the interior pen art for each of the chapters. It's really classic. It's done so professional, and it's like, gosh, I want all of my own books, if and when I get them published. I want them all to look the same way as this book here. They took such extreme measures, no matter the cost, I guess, to make it stand out, and boy does it. It's so professional. So until next time, keep reading. This is Robin Garland. Bye-bye.